Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. And today is Thursday, October 10th, 2019, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the market. As I mention each day, I believe that the closing prices of the day are the most valid prices of the day to make your buying and selling decisions from, because during the day you have the day traders, you have the algorithms battling it out. I feel like it's just a lot of noise at the end of the day. The large financial institutions, the market makers come in, take over the market with huge volume, and like I said, in my opinion, move the prices to where move the prices to the most valid prices of the day by virtue of them coming in, moving it around to where they think it should be. And they're the most well-equipped, they're the smartest, they have the best information, and so I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing. So hope that makes sense. Thank you everybody for coming today. I appreciate it as always, coming and spending your time with me, investing your time. I really sincerely hope that you are learning something and that it's improving your trading results and improving your investing results. So, hey MJ, hey, how's it going? MJ says, good morning, Greg from Australia, Jax. Hey Jax, thank you for saying hi, and I got your email, and yes, I would love to, and I read it, and I appreciate it, everything that you've done. All the studying you're doing and so forth. And yes, I look very much forward to us scheduling a Skype call. And it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. I usually spend 30, 40 minutes, with a prospective client. I just want to get to know them a little bit better and kind of understand where they're coming from, or where they've been, and where they're trying to go. So anyway, appreciate the kind words, and it's great that you're studying Dr. Elder. I studied one-on-one with him for 3 days in Vermont and was really good. And I'm glad to hear that you're reading Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. So those two books and those two people have actually had a large impact on my trading career as well. And good to see that you're following Triple Screen too. So I'm very familiar with Triple Screen, and I think it's good from Dr. Elder and Impulse. So anyway, I will write you back and we'll get something scheduled, and I look forward to that. But thank you for coming today, Jax. I really appreciate it. Gamer Squad, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming as always. Hi, Toby. Good to see you. Thank you for coming back. Always nice to have you here. Bread and Butter, those books. Yeah, I mean, those two books, The New Trading for a Living and Trading in the Zone, are really great books. I actually, with my current clients right now, I always suggest that they at the very least, read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Really, really good stuff. So anyway, all right. Well, thank you all for coming again. And so let's see. The markets, boy, I'll tell you what. The markets are up right now. They're off their highs. The Dow's up 113 points, which is about 0.43%. The Nasdaq's up 37 points, up 0.47, and the S&P is up 15.54. Yesterday, after the show, I went on my hike. I was looking at the futures after hours. They're up like 25 points. Next second I looked at them, they were down 300. I was like, what is going on? And as it turns out, there was some trade drama, US-China stuff, as always. I had a lesson last night. We were taking a look at the futures, and they were down big, and then they went racing up, and then they went racing back down. And I thought, oh boy, overnight SPY position's not going to do so hot today. And woke up, and the market was up. So just craziness out there, a lot of volatility out there. So, let's always be careful. Let's always realize that we're one tweet away or one headline away from a huge 200, 300, 400 point move in either direction. So, yeah, it's pretty volatile. So, all right, let's take a look here. Hey, JT, good to see you, sir. Nice job on your, what is it? Constellation Brands. I believe that's JT, right? Or is it Wayne? I can't remember. I think it's JT, though. I hope it is, because it's up nicely. So, all right. Well, listen, the plan for today, as each day, is first of all, we're going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at all my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward, either to the upside or either to the downside. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. It's the most important skill that you can learn in trading. The technicals are important, but eventually you're going to get those down. After that, it's how you manage yourself, how you manage your emotions, how you deal with big losses or a string of small losses, or how you're going to deal with big gains and a string of big gains, and what mental state you're going to be in. Can you keep it together? Can you keep calm and cool and collected, make good decisions regardless of how your emotions are pulling you, either being ecstatic or being super depressed, right? And I'll tell you a little secret. You have to stay stable regardless of what's happening to you, whether you're making money or losing money. You have to stay stable, make good decisions. Every trade is just one of the next 1,000 trades. You position size correctly, you put on the trade. What else can you do, right? That's all you can do. The problems come in when you have a big loss, you get punched in the face, or you have a string of losses and it gets frustrating. And then there's that little part of your brain that goes, man, okay, I've been following the rules for a long time, but here I got to make this back quick. Famous last words, guys. It is not the correct thing to do, honestly. And if you feel that way and you're going to put on a big size on something because you feel frustrated, go ahead and tell the group, right? So we can take the opposite side of that trade. I mean, I'm kidding, right? I don't want you guys to lose money. I don't want you to go through that, but that is how certain I am that if you do that, it's going to be the wrong decision. I promise you it is. 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be the wrong decision. So anyway, we're going to spend a little time on trader psychology. After that, we're going to go through all my current positions. We're going to go down through each stock one by one. We're going to take a look at support levels. We're going to take a look at resistance levels. We're going to take a look at indicators like MACD, RSI, moving averages, ATR channels. We're going to look for entry triggers, V1, V2 entry triggers. And as I mentioned, each day, I view indicators on the chart as potential groups of buyers. And if you want a stock to go up, you have to be in the company of other buyers, right? It makes sense. So the more indicators or support levels that can line up at the same time, theoretically, that means the more buyers are going to come in. So the more buyers, if you're in group of a lot of buyers, you have a much better chance of your trade succeeding. So that's how I view technicals, and that's what we're going to look down through the chart for. And then after the market closes, if you have any questions about anything I discussed today, you weren't sure why I took a trade or didn't take a trade, please let me know and I will try to clarify for you. And also, if you want me to take a look at any possible stock symbols, I'm happy to give you my humble opinion. And that's after the market closes. But if you see something today that you really think looks good and you'd like to share with the group, you would like to get my opinion on about maybe an end of day purchase, please let me know. And do me a favor, put a couple stars by the symbol. That way, when I see them in the chat, I'll know that they're, today's business, right before the market closes, because I'm switching back and forth on charts. Sometimes it's hard for me to concentrate 100% on the chats, but if there's really something you feel strongly about, you like my opinion about, just put some stars in front of the symbol, and that way I'll know it's one of those kind of symbols to take a look at. Otherwise, if you just want me to take a look at something in general, I'll do that after the market closes. So that's the plan. That's the plan. All right. And JT says, yes, STZ, am out today. Momentum slowing. Got my 3.5 points. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. I know you took it back here on the 8th, rejected the 200, rejected the 250, had a V1, was under 30, over 30. So fantastic. Really good. Congratulations. Proud of you, JT. All right, so let's go ahead, run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Hang on, please.
This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much.
All right. MJ says, could be out of scope, but be interesting in understanding your ST. You know, MG, I'm not quite sure I understand that. Oh, okay. Could be out of scope. Could be interesting understanding basic stock criteria, scans, etc. Could be interesting understand basic stock scans. Okay. Yes, that would possibly be interesting, but I'm not quite sure what the question is, or maybe it was just a statement. MG, sorry, sorry. Maybe you could rephrase, and I want to help you out there, but I'm not quite sure how to respond to that. Hey, Mount Doji, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Hope everyone is doing well. He says. I hope you're doing well too. What's going on with you, Mount Doji? Got any trades going on? I like to follow Mount Doji's trades. So, all right. Well, let's get to it. First on deck is Etsy. I did buy Etsy yesterday. I bought it on the 9th of October. Couple signals going on with Etsy here. First signal was we had this higher low V2. You can see we made the lower low, we came into the value zone, we had a couple days, actually we had, well, that day was up, we had 2 days down, then we had a really nice V2. Here is day 1, here is day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closed above day 1's close. In addition to this higher low V2, we closed above the 50, we closed above all the moving averages. And in addition to that, we also had some more confirmation where we had the 10 EMA crossing over the 50 EMA, which is a good back-tested approach to trading Etsy. So, you know, at the beginning of the show, I talked about multiple indicators lining up, and this is a good example of the 10 crossing over the 50. That is a good back-tested approach for an entry on Etsy. And then at the very same day, we have this nice higher low V2. In addition to that, when we took the crossover, it happened right here in the value zone. If crossovers, to me, if they happen up here, I really don't like to take them too far above the 1 ATR channel. You can see up here we also had a cross, but you see how high this cross was? No, excuse me. Where did it happen? Happened here, and I didn't take that. Looks like it was a good thing I didn't. Would have been too much of a loss, but no, I didn't take that based upon that big old bar coming down. But this one's much better because we have the higher low, we have the 1050 cross going on, and in addition we have the higher low V2. So today I did hit one profit target up here. It's come off the top, but I was fortunate to hit one up here higher at 58.27, so glad I took some of that off. Let me take a look over here. So yeah, everything is fine. You know, generally when I take an entry, I like to see it move about 1 ATR away from my entry before I start tightening up stops and start tightening up my trailing stop. Hasn't got 1 ATR away, but it's fine. We made a higher high, which is good. It's holding the 50 RSI, which is good. So anyway, steady as she goes on this. In the coming days, we'll see how it reacts to profit targets to the upside. I'll be interested to see how it reacts around the 200-day moving average. But my initial stop here, I'm not going to trail it yet, but my initial stop on this was a halfway of the washout bar. This is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3. Day 2 is the washout bar because it washed out day 1's low, and so currently right here at this moment I'm going to use halfway of this washout bar as my initial stop. But always like to hit profit targets. Market can't take that away from me. If it turns around and goes back down, at least I locked a portion in the profitable levels, which of course reduces or mitigates my loss if it heads back down. We also had a positive MACD crossover yesterday, which shows good momentum. So anyway, Etsy's doing pretty well today, and we'll see what happens in the future. All right, so gold is our stinker today. I did buy gold yesterday on the 9th of October. I bought it. We had a valid crossover. The 520 EMA crossover is a good, valid, long-term back-tested approach to trading gold. It doesn't mean that every single trade is going to be a winner. As a matter of fact, you're going to have more losers than winners when you trade the 520 EMA crossover on gold. However, if you're wrong, the way it's set up, you're generally wrong fairly small, but it gives you the opportunity to have a real big gain with these crossovers. Sometimes you'll get a monster, and that's what you're looking for, right? It doesn't win as many times as it loses, but the winners can be much larger than the losers. So paying for all those little losses and then hopefully more. So this is exactly what I want with this kind of trade. If I'm wrong, where I'm in and I'm immediately out, just giving myself a small loss. So I will be getting out of gold today, locking in that loss, and I will be looking again for another 520 cross. And it's important, if you take a trade and you lose, but it was a legitimate trade, I know it's human nature to want to not to kind of take that trade the next time it comes along. But that's part of psychology, right? That's the skill of managing your emotions. And if you have a valid signal, even though you've lost once before or twice before or 3 times before, you go ahead and take that trade again. You position size correctly, of course, but you go ahead and take that trade. So it looks like the 5 is going to cross over the 20, cross under the 20. I will get out, take this loss, but if we get another crossover, I will go back ahead and take another long position. All right, the all-famous, world-famous SPY trade. So I mention this every day, but in case we have new listeners, I do want to explain what I'm doing here. I do buy the SPY every single day at the end of the day, right at the close, and I sell it the very first thing the next morning. And I do this every single day, regardless of technicals, regardless of support and resistance levels. And you might ask yourself, why would you do such a thing since you specialize in technical analysis? But this is based on a really good long-term profitable back-tested approach. This is from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. But with this approach, you have two options. Option number 1 is you could buy the SPY every day, the SPY, every day at the open. You can sell it every day at the close. So buy in the morning, sell at the close. Buy in the morning, sell at the close. That's option number 1. If you would have done this every day since 1993, you'd have actually returned a negative 13.9%. But if you do the opposite, which is what I do every day, I buy the SPY every day at the close, and I sell it every day the next morning every day at the open. So buy at the close, sell at the open, buy at the close, sell at the open. If you would have used this approach, which is the approach that I use, you'd have actually returned 634.2% if you did this every day since 1993. So what this is saying here is that all the gains in the stock market, in the S&P at least, all the gains from this from 1993 have actually been bid up in the aftermarket and bid up in the pre-market session and then sold into the open. That's what these results are telling you. And so you can see the blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. The orange line is the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see the blue line far exceeds the orange line, and which is, interesting to kind of point out here that if you're a day trader, it's very tough. Look, the real movement does not come in the day. It comes overnight. That's what the blue line's showing. And I also like this chart because it shows you over the long term, if you have an edge, how it can play out and really go your way. In between, you have ups and downs, you have bumps and bruises, but it's just a normal part of trading. It's just a normal distribution of wins and losses, even if you have an edge. So I really like to show this chart. Takeaway here is you have to play the long term. You have to look at trading in the long run. You have to position size correctly so you can stay around and trade for the long run. And so anyway, well, that's it on why I'm buying it. So I actually feel like this was a win today after yesterday's futures. I thought, oh man, that's going to open up like 4 points down. But I did buy it yesterday at 291.27. Opened up slightly lower, 291.14. So very, very, very small loss. It did rally. This is one of those days where it did rally during the day. But anyway, this was basically close to a scratch trade. Just about 13 cents per share. So anyway, didn't work out this time, but I can tell you I've been using this since February 26th, and it has done quite well. Although in the month of May, I think I lost 80% of these trades. But just like I just showed you on that chart, there are bumps and bruises. There are times where it's really going to go against you. But since February 26th, it's been very, very profitable, even with that horrible month of May. So, you know, just goes to show you, if you have an edge with an approach, even if you're going through a drawdown, keep taking those trades. In the long run, they should work out, hopefully, right? So I will buy SPY again today at the close of the market, and I will sell it first thing tomorrow morning. All right. So I did buy UNH back here on the 30th of September. I bought it for 3 different reasons. Reason number 1 is we had a nice V1. Here's day 1. Here is day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 2 closes above day 1. So, you know, it tried to go down. There were no more sellers here. Rallied back up. Closed above the previous day's close. That is a V1. In addition to that, on the down move here, we went under the third ATR channel, we closed above it. That's important because 90% of prices stay above the third ATR channel and stay below the negative third ATR channel and stay below the positive third ATR channel. So when you start seeing prices get down here, it doesn't mean automatically buy, but contextually, you're in a spot where 90% of the time there's some kind of a bounce, right? So I didn't buy it just because it got down here. I bought it because of the V1. I bought it in addition to that. It went up under the third ATR channel, back over the third ATR channel. And the previous day we went under a 30 RSI, and that's significant because there are buyers at the 30 RSI. But if you lose the 30 RSI, that's very bearish. But if you can come back up after losing the 30 RSI, that is bullish. So one more time. V1, that is one reason. We rejected the third ATR channel, closed back up. That's another reason. Previous day we went under 30. The day I bought it, we closed over 30. So this has been a nice trade so far. Moved sideways. As you know, as we move up each day, I do take a partial profit off the table. So I think I hit one here, hit a couple here, hit one here, hit one there, hit one today. I'm going to have to decide, hit it right at the top. I'm going to have to decide here today what I'm going to do with this. We got very close to the 50 RSI. And you know, when I play from the 30, I like to focus off the 50, from the 30 to the 50. Right now, like I said, it didn't quite get to 50, but it got close. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold this as long as it stays above the 20-day moving average. But if it closes back below the 20, I'm probably going to go ahead and just lock in profits. And it's been a nice profit, but I don't like the fact that it, you know, got close to rejecting the 50. And then if it also rejects the 20, I'll probably go ahead and just lock lock this in, but I'll just wait till the end of the day. In addition, we are under a MACD crossover, which is good, but this has been a good trade. So anyway, all right, that is it. That is it. Okay. So listen, this is the time of the day where I like to do a little bit on trading psychology. I like to look through Twitter. There's a bunch of really good channels on there that focus and specialize and talk about trading psychology, how important it is. They have good words of wisdom that they put out each day, and I like to go through, and if I see something that I think is important and would be helpful to you guys, I cut it out and I like to talk about it. But this is from Stephen Burns, and Stephen Burns is a friend of our channel. He's a friend of mine. Really look up to him. He's a great teacher and mentor and author and great trader. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, it's Steve Burns at S. Joseph Burns on Twitter. You're really doing yourself a disfavor if you don't subscribe to his channel and read all of his posts, not just on trading psychology, but trading approaches, trading strategies. But I have two pictures here, but Steve says where the confluence of profitable trading happens. So, at the beginning of the show, I talked about looking for a confluence or a combination of indicators. When it strictly comes to trading, price action, you want to see a confluence of indicators lining up, showing you that you have, a combination of buyers, different buyer groups. But in the bigger picture, okay, that was just talking about price action. But in the bigger picture, you have to have a good confluence of other things to be a good trader as well. Price action, right? You have to have good price action. You certainly have to have good discipline. You have to have good signals, and of course, as always, very important, you have to position size. So you have to work on 4 different disciplines when it comes to trading, not just entries and exits, right? Good signals, not just good signals for entries, not just price action for exits. You also have to definitely incorporate good position sizing and good discipline. So guys, this is what it takes to be a good trader. You have to have good signals, right? But most people just focus on this. You have to position size is extremely important to position size. Otherwise you're going to, eventually you're going to go through a bad run, and it will happen. And if your position size is too large, it's not going to be good, right? It's going to affect your mental stability, and you may give up, you made bad decisions. Price actions, you have to look at price action. What's happening when you're in a trade? Is it giving you red flags? Is it giving you signals? Is it telling you that you should get out of the trade? And then discipline, super important, and to have discipline. Most people are decent with signals. They're not so hot with position sizing, I found. Price action, they don't think about that very often. And then their discipline is probably decent most of the time. But then there's times where you just go off the reservation, you fall off the wagon, your discipline disappears. So, in order to be successful, big picture in trading, you have to have all of these. And, that's why I talk about trading psychology so much, is because I know it's an important pillar of what it takes to be a good trader. And by the way, in my classes, my private one-on-one classes, we focus on all of these things, because you've heard you have to have you have to have a plan to be a good trader. Well, most people just think their plan is their signals, and it's not. It's all of these things. And so, with my courses, I really try to put together a real plan that incorporates all of those. So anyway, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. It's a great post. And again, if you guys haven't subscribed to Steve on Twitter, please do, at S. Joseph Burns. All right. Let's take a look real quick. Hey, Kurt, I'm looking forward to tonight as well, my friend. We're going to talk about double tops, double bottoms, bullish divergences, bearish divergences. So looking forward to that. And MJ, that's Dr. Elder stuff, by the way, as you know from reading his book. So yeah, Kurt and I are going to have Dr. Elder night tonight, basically. Hey, Marco, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know. Hi, Jesse. Good talking to you, my friend. Great lesson last night. You did really, really well, especially in that last portion when we were just doing chart analysis and I was making you make all the decisions. You did really well. MJ says, sorry, it's 6 a.m. here. I meant to ask, it would be great to understand, one, the stock criteria to the scans associated to where you then eyeball the results. Okay. I really don't look at short interest. To be honest with you, MJ, I know Dr. Elder does, but my approach incorporates some of Dr. Elder's, but not exactly what Dr. Elder. But I understand what you're talking about. But anyway, we'll go through the charts and I'll point out, how I'm sizing this all up. Bing He, good to see you, Bing He. Bing He's our friend from Singapore. Stephen Winters, BAC, long setup. Well, I can tell you it made a higher low close back above the 200-day moving average, which is always good. Also triggered a fractal. Fractal is a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. Stephen, it closing above 50 would be even better. Right now it's at a 49.72 RSI, but if this closed above 50, I think this would be a valid entry. I mean, you have a higher low break back above the 200. If it closes above the 50, that would be even better. Close above the 20, that would be good. Volume's pretty good here. It's higher now than it was even yesterday, so that does look positive. Looks pretty good. Let's take a look at that at the end of the day. And then, of course, I would use the 200 as my stop, right, on a closing basis. Frank, hey, how you doing? Hello, all. Trading can feel like learning how to juggle while riding a unicycle and tightrope. Yes, while you're on fire. Yeah, you're right, Frank. Jesse said, Thomas Paine had great tweet today about sifting through all of the crap on the internet to find the gold nuggets. This channel and Greg's lessons are a gold nugget. Thank you for what you do, sir. Oh, thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words, and you're a fantastic student, man. You're really doing great. You're taking this serious, just like Kurt. Kurt's taking this serious. Anthony's taking this very serious. So you guys are all really great students, and thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. Bing He says, hi, Greg. For SEDG, should I take profit now or wait for 2 ATR entry? Okay, let's look at that real quick. SEDG. Well, I mean, your plan was taking half at the 2% at the second ATR, and I really don't see anything wrong with this chart here at the moment. I mean, if it closes under the 1 ATR channel, that might be a red flag. It's up to you, Bang He. I mean, you have a profit on it. I mean, I would have you taking profit at the 1 ATR channel always. But because of your commission situation, we have to kind of overcome that. But, the second ATR channel up here has the previous highs. Honestly, if it were me and we reject this 1 ATR channel, I'd probably take half off, to be honest with you. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Greg, headline-driven market continues. You are correct. Yes, massive headline markets lately. Lots of volatility. Thank you for coming, Steve. Always an honor to have you here. MJ, definitely open to other trading systems. As like you said, you just following Elder may only keep you busy for a few months of the year. That's 100%. That's one of the reasons why I went to other traders and other teachers as well, because double bottoms, double tops only happen certain times of the year, and you need some tools to approach trading in all sorts of different environments. Frank said TLT stopped out. Yeah, I saw TLT. So TLT did go down Once again, guys, third ATR channel, that was the place to take a look at taking some profits, right? I mean, 90% of trades do not go above here, so it looks like you stopped out on here. So sorry about that. Oh, that's right. You have Ultra. Yeah. I remember you bought Ultra. I'm glad you bought it in the value zone. Much better than buying up here when it's overvalued. So good. Nice job today. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Okay. Time to get to the charts. Please give me about 30 seconds. Dog, I'm telling you, she doesn't do anything until I start the podcast. I apologize. Give me about 15, 20 seconds. Okay, let's get to it. So where are we at market-wise here? All right, so the Dow's up 136. All right, here we go, everybody. Apple, big day, just too high for me. At this point, I'm looking for a return to value back in the value zone, moving sideways, look for a V1, V2. Adobe is holding the 200-day, which is good. I don't think there's really anything here for me on Adobe. I'd be looking for a 1050 crossover backtest well on Adobe, or possibly a dip to the 30 RSI. We did close under the 200, back over 200. I decided not to take it. We'll see whether that was a good idea or not, because to me, the way me personally, I looked at where the 50 RSI was and I wasn't sure it gave me a good risk to reward. So anyway, those of you who have Adobe, hope this keeps motoring up and extends over that 200, keeps moving over the 200-day moving average. The MACD is positive, which is positive. But again, for me personally, going forward, I'm looking for 1050 crossover or a close under, close back over the 30 RSI, or possibly close under back over the 250. AMD, nothing here. We've lost the 1 ATR channel. We've attempted to rally in, got rejected again. If we had a V2 tomorrow, here's day one, here's day two washes out day one. If we could get a V2 close back up in the value zone, that would be possibly interesting, but nothing right now. Amazon really weak. I mean, when you look at Amazon, I mean, look at this major downtrend that it's had. I mean, it has been exceptionally weak. So not a great sign for Amazon. Where would I get interested in Amazon? I would be interested in Amazon currently right down in here, 30 RSI in conjunction with the 30 ATR channel. That is where I think a good deep dip buy would be. Boeing setting itself for a possible higher low V2 tomorrow back into the value zone. Here's day one, day two washes out day one. If tomorrow we could close back, we're under the value zone now, but if we could reject the value zone, that's good. And then close back over Tuesday's close, it would give us a higher low V2 back in the value zone, back above the major moving averages, and above 50. So that would be good, but nothing on Boeing. Caterpillar having a big day today. It's a 46.60 RSI. We're running into resistance at the downward sloping 50-day moving average. We're outside. We're still below the value zone. So nothing for me on Caterpillar. Dow Jones, you know, I'd be waiting for some kind of crossover on the Dow, on the diamonds, or on actually on the DDM, which is the double leveraged 1050 EMA cross, but we don't have crossover yet here. We're still under the 50 RSI, so just kind of range bound here at the moment, so nothing on that. Disney, nothing on Disney. I'd really like to buy it down here with the close under the 200 and back over, especially at a low RSI reading, giving us a good risk to reward back up to the 50. MACD is turned up. We haven't crossed yet, but we are holding here. I'd really like to see a stab down, bounce off the 200, or close under the 200 and back over. Conversely, a 1050 EMA crossover to the upside would be another option. Another option would be move into the value zone and then look for a higher low V2 entry on Walt Disney. Of course, Etsy we bought that higher low V2 yesterday, and we also had the 1050 SMA crossover, so we did hit one profit target. MACD did go positive, so that's good. Ford just making a lower range down here. You know, if we could spike down under 30, back over 30, that would be interesting at this point, but nothing on Ford. Facebook had this break under the 200, back over the 200, also had a V2 here, just kind of moves sideways so far. Nothing really here. You know, for me going forward, if we could break back down under the 200 and back over the 200, that would give us a higher low break under, break back over the 200-day. Looks like MACD is getting close to crossing. In addition here, if we kept moving up in the value zone, sold off for a couple days, had a higher low V2, that would also be interesting. 5 is somewhat interesting here today. We have a higher low. This low is higher than this low. Break back over the 200-day moving average. We also had a V1. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Day 2 washed out. Day 1 closed above. We are above a 50 RSI, so this one is possible. Gold, do have gold. I'm going to be getting out of this at the end of the day. We had the 520 crossover yesterday, and now it looks like we're going to cross under, so I will go ahead, just take my exit signal, right? That was the plan. Stay in it as long as the 5 crosses over the 20. Be patient, but if you're wrong, you want to get out right away, and if in the future the 5 crosses back over the 20, I will take it again. So I will be getting out of gold at the end of the day. Google, nothing really right here on Google. I would wait for the 1030 SMA crossover. That's the pink line crossing back over the 50. That is a good back-tested approach on Google. So really nothing here today. Going forward, if we had a dip back down here, you can see you have the third ATR channel, you have the 100-day moving average, you have the 200-day moving average. Right down in this location would be an interesting spot to pick Google back up. This is a tough one. Goldman Sachs yesterday closed under the 200. Today we're closing back above the 200. This is good. RSIs of 41.43, giving us, you know, maybe 10 points to the upside before we run into theoretical resistance. We also have these bands of moving averages moving down here, which is also theoretical resistance. You know, if we look at this on the weekly chart, what I don't like on the weekly chart is that we have the 100-week moving average above us, and last time that was thoroughly rejected. You know, here it acted as support, then it broke down underneath. You know, what once acts support now is going to act as resistance, and now we have the 100-week resistance above us. So, you know, it did happen down here with the confluence of the third ATR channel and the 200-day moving average. We'll mark it, but I don't like the weekly on this chart. So IBB, nothing there. I'm looking for a 520 crossover. Intel, we have a 520 crossover. That's not a great back tester. We are well off of our highs here. No MACD crossover. So to me, this still looks range bound. I'll get to love in a sec, Mount Doji. IWM, Russell 2000, what I'd really like to see on this is I'd like to see a 1050 SMA crossover. That back tests very well, or a dip down to the 30 RSI. Let me take a quick look at love for Mount Doji. So, okay, we are making a higher low V1 at the moment anyway. We're above the moving averages. We're above the 50 RSI. This all looks good. The one thing that I would like better, Mount Doji, is if we had, I like to take higher low V1s, V2s after 2 days of down, ideally. Yesterday, it was down as far as the close was under the open, but it was still above yesterday's close, which this in itself is a bearish signal. We open much lower reversed. I mean, look, you definitely could take this trade. I would use it is a valid higher low V1. I just like when you have a couple days down better, but using a stop here halfway of today, which is the washout bar, might be interesting. You are above the 20, you are above the 10, you are above the 50. So sure, right? If we were above the 50, because we didn't have 2 days down, if we were above the 50, but still under these moving averages, that would concern me. But, this does look fairly good. I mean, this is a legitimate higher low V2 in the value zone. So yeah, you definitely could do much worse than this Mount Doji. Not a lot of volume, which is one thing to consider. But yeah, I mean, you have good upside potential, possibly going all the way back up to previous highs or higher, and then your risk is small. So yeah, I think it's pretty good, bud. All right. Johnson & Johnson, nothing on Johnson & Johnson, maybe a 30 RSI dip. Coca-Cola actually down today. Nothing on Coke. Lockheed Martin is strong. We have a fractal. Here's a high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. Looks like we have taken out that fractal. Currently at the moment, it looks like we are under the high of that fractal. We are above 52.60. This is more of a momentum play, but I don't think I really like this. We don't have any V1s, V2s, or anything like that at the moment. We did have a V2 yesterday, but we had this big gap. So I think I'm just gonna let this one. I think I'm just gonna let this one go. How we doing on time? All right, we better hustle. MasterCard doing well. Above the 50 RSI, MACD went positive. That's good. On the other hand, we did reject the downward sloping 50-day moving average. We did take out this fractal. Did have a nice V2 yesterday, but it gapped, so I couldn't take that. I think on MasterCard, everybody, I'm just going to wait until we get a valid crossover signal that back tests well, and that would be the 1050 EMA, and you can see the 10 is still under the 50 EMA. So I'm going to wait for more confirmation. I'm going to wait for the 1050 EMA cross. Altria, big day, up again. Oh man, did reject the downward sloping 50. If I was long this stock, I probably would have gotten out here with the rejection of the downward sloping 50. And back to Steve Burns' post, this would be looking at price action. So if I were short or long, I would probably get out right here. Merck moving sideways, nothing there. Microsoft doing well. We did have a 520 crossover. It's not a good it's not great back tested. So nothing on Microsoft. Netflix. All right, everybody. So this is a beautiful higher low V2. Here's day one. Here is day two. Day two washes out day one. Day three closes above day one's close, takes out this fractal. The only thing is it's getting a little high into the value zone right here. This is about the maximum that I would take this trade. I like everything about it. MACD is positive. We're above 50 RSI. lots of volume, so you can see something is definitely changing. So I'm going to mark that and we'll revisit it. Nike, nothing there. Philip Morris, rejecting the 200, nothing there. PayPal, I do like PayPal. We closed under the 250-day yesterday. Right now it looks like we're closing above. I think this gives a better risk to reward ratio than about anything, and this is a good back tested approach, trading the 250 or trading PayPal over, staying in over the 250, getting out under the 250. So I kind of like PayPal. All right, we got 9 minutes. Q's, nothing. SPY, gonna buy that at the end of the day. TLT bonds, you know, we had a big move up over value. Now we're in value. We could look for this to move sideways. Look for a V1, V2. Tesla, nothing there. Twitter, nothing there. UNH looks like it is closing currently right now, at least over the 20. If it closes over the 20, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'm going to lock in profits. Oil is up. VIX is down. Verizon, nothing there too high. Walmart, look at this double top with this bullish, bearish divergence. And MJ, you should understand this. We have a high. We break the back of the bull. We pull back into the value zone. MACD goes red. Now we're making equal to or higher high. Absolutely no green bars, showing a real lack of momentum. This is what Dr. Alexander Elder calls a missing right shoulder. So this is quite bearish. Now, just because it happens doesn't mean you go ahead and short it. But contextually, this looks bearish. If I wanted to short this, I look for some kind of short signal, V1, V2, something like that. Energy, doing well today, back over the third ATR channel, but nothing for me. Financials, doing well, nothing there. Real estate, nothing there. Utilities, looks like it could trigger a V1 here, but remember, when you make a lower high, and when you make a high, you come down and you make a lower high, you need to wash out that previous low before you get interested in healthcare. All right, we don't have much time, so all right, Etsy's fine, we know that. So we're gonna have to 5 below. Nice V1. We're over the 50. Bullish engulfing bar. Don't like that we rejected the 20 and the 10. Goldman Sachs doing well. Peg the downward sloping 10-day. I think I'm going to let that one go. I mean, Netflix is really good here. It just feels a little chasey to me. I feel like long term, this is going to be moving up. Just my opinion, but I think today it seems a little overbought. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to pass on Netflix and I'm going to look for a pullback. And as long as it, you know, ideally I'd like to get a pullback back to here. I wouldn't need a new entry. This was my entry, but I'm just waiting for a pullback to give me a better risk to reward at this point, because I do like the volume, I do like the move up, I do like that we took out this fractal, I do like everything. It just seems like a little chasey at this point. You know, I considered buying a half position of this instead of a whole under the circumstances, but I think I'm just going to let this one go and see if in the next couple days we can get a little bit of retracement, a little bit of backfill back up here. I mean, this is very strong. Longer term, this looks very strong to me, but on a short term basis, I feel like it looks a little overbought. So I'm going to let this one go. PayPal. So the 250-day moving average is 100.48. So I am going to buy PayPal today with the close under the 250. And if it closes back over the 250, I will go ahead and buy it, giving me a very, very good risk to reward. And again, this is back tested here. So basically, then let's take a look at, so let me get this all set up here. And this would be a full position because it is over the 200-day moving average. Hopefully I have enough time to do this. Sorry, one of my accounts logged out on me. Sorry for the delay, folks. Okay. Okay. So, am going to get rid of gold with the 520 cross under. Etsy is fine. SPY I'm going to buy at the end of the day. UNH 28 is 223.16. 223.16 on UNH. So if we close under 223.16, I am going to go ahead and just lock in profits on UNH. 5 below does look good. You look on the weekly, it looks pretty good on the weekly. We move back up, we've come back down, we've caught some support. We had a pullback, we had a higher low V1 on the weekly. That looks good. I don't like that we rejected the 20-day also, although we are. So I'm just going to let that one go. Netflix, things cranking, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna look for some kind of pullback. I do want to get in this trade, but I need some kind of pullback. And PayPal. So PayPal 148. So it's right on the bubble. So I may not be taking any new positions today other than the SPY. Who knows? We'll just have to see how that closes. UNH looks fine at the moment, so I am going to keep UNH. All right, we have 2 minutes. All right. You know, this is a good exercise in Netflix. I mean, look, this thing's really up. It looks great. It feels like you don't want to miss out on this trade, but you know, who knows? It can just keep rolling up. Most likely it's going to get to 1 ATR channel with this big bar. But again, I'm just going to wait for some kind of pullback. So we have about a minute left. Etsy is fine. 5 below, I'm going to let go. Goldman Sachs, I'm going to let go. Netflix, I'm going to have to pass, unfortunately. And now PayPal is underneath 148. So I'm really going to have to watch this at the end of the day. Otherwise, the only trade I'll be taking here is going to be the new SPY trade. But it's, you know, it's a good lesson, guys, in discipline, in watching the market go up, wanting to participate, but if things don't line up correctly, not doing it. So we're above now. This is really going to be a game time decision here with 20 seconds to go. I mean, we're right there. We're right at the 148. Now we're above. 15 seconds. Looks like it's below. Looks like it's below. Now it's below. Now it's really below. Now it's above. And I bought it. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I got it, and it was right. So 148, it closed at 154. So man, I got it with like a second to spare. Okay, where did I get filled? I got filled at let's see. 100. 154. All right, and again, I bought this because the previous day we closed under the 250, then we closed above the 250. The 250 was 148, and it closed at 100.54. You know, sometimes, guys, you're going to try at the very end. You're going to do your best. Sometimes you're going to hit the button, and it's going to close under by a penny. You're going to go, dang it. But, you know, that's how it goes. You do your best. That's all you can do. So our new entry on this is 100.54. All right, and if we're wrong, we are wrong extremely small. If we're right, we have a good movement up here, possibly up to the 200 days. So gold, I did have to get out of gold. That was preset, so that was a loss, but that's how it goes. We had the 5 cross back under the 20. So that's off the charts. And PayPal is our new addition. Whoa. All right, we'll try it one more time. Another time. There we go. So yeah, this back tests well, everybody. Close under the 200, back over 200. Couldn't get any closer to, if you're wrong, being wrong small. SPY, we got filled on the SPY at 293.24. So that's our new overnight SPY trade. $293.24. Boom, right there. And then we did hit that profit target. It closed above the 20, so we did keep that. So that was good on United Healthcare, and we'll just continue to see how this does moving up. So going forward, okay, we did hit the one on Etsy, so we're long Etsy still. Things look fine. We initiated that new position in PayPal. SPY initiated the new overnight SPY trade, and then UNH. This has been a good trade here. So that is it. Let's take a look. Apple closed at 306. Did Amazon close up? No, still weak. All right. So, whew, that was pretty intense there at the end. So anyway, this is the time of the day where, you know, if you have any, I'm going to go through all the questions, all the comments. If you have a comment or you have a question, please let me know. But before I get to the answers, I just hope it's okay. Just want to do my quick daily plug. Let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching, teaching, and mentoring lessons. I really enjoy teaching. I've had really good success with my clients. I put a lot of energy and work into my clients. I really sincerely care about how they do. I want them to be successful. And so, you know, I give it my all in my lessons to teach them what I know. And, you know, I teach everything I know here as well, but it's a little different. You know, I'm a little more involved with my own trading, and I don't get any feedback from you guys. I mean, I do, but not in real time like we do on the lessons. So, you know, I hope the live stream is helpful for you, but I know that, you know, if you do become a, you know, private client of mine, I know you'll have a much greater depth of information on trading than just the live stream. But I hope the live stream is helping. I really do. So anyway, if you're interested about you know, maybe possibly doing some one-on-one with me, I offer a 10-hour course, 5 2-hour sessions, and I teach you everything that I know. I teach the first part, the second part of each session. I have you teach it back to me, put you on the spot, but then I'll really find out if you really are grasping and understanding it. So like I said, I've had really good success. And you know, before I work with a client, I generally have just an initial Skype call. It's 30-40 minutes. I just want to understand more about that person. I want to understand more about their challenges, how they got into trading, what their goals are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and, you know, and then I'll put together a plan specifically for you and how you want to approach trading. You know, interesting, working with me or not, you have to kind of decide to yourself, are you a mechanical trader? Are you a discretionary trader? I had this discussion last night with Jesse as far as me teaching him, you know, getting out, phasing out, what to do, mechanical, you know, and he said, no, I'm really more of a discretionary kind of person. So I tailored the lesson to that, and you did really well, by the way, Jesse. So anyway, if you're interested, my email is in the description of this video. You can also reach out to me on Twitter, and the price of the course is down there. So if it's of interest, you've been thinking about it, please let me know. It'd be fun to work with you, or at very least set up an initial Skype call just to see if we're a fit for each other. And then lastly, if you like this channel and you like this content and it's helping you, all I ask is that you would just please hit the thumbs up button. It does help promote the channel. There's a lot of traders out there that need help with trading. Trust me on this. And I think if they come into this channel every day, I really think it can't help but have some good trading principles rub off on them. So, that's why I started this channel. I want to help traders. I want to help beginning traders. I want to help struggling traders, because it's no fun. So anyway, if you could hit the thumbs up button, I would appreciate it. Okay. Done with the plug. Whew. This is my favorite part of the day, everybody, where I can just answer questions. It gets pretty intense there for a minute. All right, let me go back up here. All right, so Bing He, we talked about that on SEDG. It did reject the 1 ATR channel. I know what we talked about because of your commission situation using the second. But yeah, I have to be honest, having the patience to get a second ATR channel would be great, but it did reject the 1 ATR channel. Man, I really wish you could get, I really wish you could get with a broker, Bing He, that didn't charge so much. It's a difficult obstacle to overcome, I promise you. Steven says, thanks, Greg. We'll be tuning in. Okay, good. MJ says, agree with Jesse. Only just came across the channel, but appreciate your transparency, Greg, sharing your thoughts and experience. Yeah, you're totally welcome. I try to share everything that I have, everything that I know on this channel. Put my trades out there for everybody to see. But again, I started this channel not as a moneymaker, but I started this channel to really help you guys teach you and trade better. And as I mentioned yesterday, it's helped me trade better than I ever have in my life, because I try to set a good example. Me going through the charts and explaining everything, it's a lot of work, right? But I do get a benefit from it, because I hear myself speaking and I go through the charts more slowly than I would if I was just trading alone. For so many years, I just whip through the chart. No. I mean, that's basically how I do it, but sometimes I would miss stuff, right? So, me wanting to go out and help you guys with trading has really helped me too. So it's been a win-win. Okay, so Mount Doji, I talked about love, the symbol, not the concept. Look, it closed above all the moving averages. It had a nice higher low V1. Yeah, it looks good. If I were in this trade, I would use this basically halfway of this washout bar today as my exit signal. And then, of course, I would be looking to see how it reacts around the previous highs, how it reacts around the third ATR channel, or maybe even the 70 if it gets that high. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, I like the weekly too. We had this big move up. It's not unheard of, right? We're above the 1 ATR channel. We came back into value. Let's look at the monthly. Nothing going on in the monthly, but I do like the big move up, the basically 50% retracement on the weekly, and then the entry here. I think it's a good entry. Did you take it, Mount Doji? Gamer Squad, yes, he did. Frank says Greg liked love. JT says love is one of the holdings on ETF Jets. Okay, good. John says, you say 250 often. Do you mean 200 SMA or 250? Oh, well, you're probably right, John. Sometimes I say something and I'll hear myself say it later and go, oh, I meant the 200. But on PayPal, no, I really meant the 250. This is the 250-day moving average. The thick line is the 200-day moving average. So I base this off of the 250, not of the 200. And if we look at, and I'll show you why. If we look at PayPal, And I'm using this by permission from ETF Replay. So PayPal, under the 250, stay out, over the 250, get in. But you can see it is a profitable approach, right? Not as good as buying and holding, but it still is a profitable entry on of buying PayPal when it closes below the 250 and above the 250. So that's why I bought it. But you know, my thinking here, if it closes below the 250, I have a very small stop. You know, that's how I always want to approach these trades, is with a small potential stop if I'm wrong, and a good reward if I'm right. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. If it closes 1 penny below tomorrow, I'm just out. John says, pot stocks hammered. CGC. Shoot. On Trade Navigator, I'm having a hard time picking up some of those smaller stocks. Let me just take a look over here. You guys aren't going to be able to see this, unfortunately, but at least I can comment on them. Oh yeah, my gosh. CGC's down 10%. What are we RSI wise? 3102. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. TLRY. TLRY. 2285 RSI, down 13. Not good. IIPR. Wow. Wow, that's tough. That's also down. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that world from a business standpoint, but that's tough. MJ, going through the charts mindfully. That's good. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. John Cortez, hi, how you doing? John says, I've been thinking about signing up with ETF Replay for backtest. Can you backtest single stocks with regular subscription? Yeah, you can, John. Not every single stock. Like, let's try CGC. See, there is no CGC. If I use a big stock, of course, it's going to be up there. You know, let's try Southwest Airlines. Nope. I mean, all the major big stocks, of course, Amazon and Apple and all that kind of stuff, that you're gonna have those. You're gonna have all the indexes. You're gonna have those, but keep in mind, you're not going to be able to get every single stock, so keep that in mind. But I like it. I mean, I've subscribed to it. You know, I like to see if there's a crossover on a particular stock if it's backtested well in the past. So, but again, it's not every single stock, John. But the majors for sure, and the major indexes for sure. But thanks for coming, John. Appreciate that. All right. See if I missed anybody. I think I got everything. All right. All right. John says, thanks, I'll try it out. Okay, good. Good. It's a good service. I really like it. Bing He says, Greg, for each trade you take, do you have the uncomfortable feeling that you are wrong? I keep looking at the chart to see if any of my See if any rules I broke after I took the trade. um, do I have the uncomfortable feeling that I was wrong? No, I don't. I don't think so. I mean, I like, for instance, not taking Netflix today, I kind of felt like I was wrong, but I also felt like that I wanted to take the trade because of the momentum. But if you're new to different trading approaches, I understand that you might feel like you were wrong, but you do the best you can. If you feel like the trade is pretty much intact and looks well, then go ahead and take it. This is a little off the subject, but I do kind of have the approach where I'm not surprised if I'm wrong, right? I go into each trade a little scared, but on purpose. MJ, reading Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas says, don't go in feeling scared. It's a little different than that. But I go in feeling like I could very well be wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to hurry and get out. Not like I'm scared to the death of the trade. I'm not, scared enough not to take the trade, but I'm open-minded to the fact that I very well could be wrong and I want to get out quickly. So I know that's a little different than what you're saying as far as, was the trade setup correct? Did I miss something that I should have been looking at? But not more. I mean, crossovers are pretty mechanical. They either cross over, you cross under. PayPal, if I would have bought PayPal here at the last second and would have closed under the 250, then I would have been a little bummed about it. But sometimes that's what happens. But when I go on my hike, my goal every day at the end of trading is to have done everything correctly. Taken the right trades, wait for the right setups, don't get emotionally involved with chasing a stock like Netflix, right? So that's I don't want to have any buyer's remorse or seller's remorse at the end of the day. And most of the time I get there. So I hope that helps, but I maybe just to confirm, when you say that you have the uncomfortable feeling that you were wrong, like it was an incorrect setup or that the trade's weirdly not going to work out, which one are you saying? I keep looking at the charts to see if any rules I broke after the trade. Okay, so that kind of explains it. So, you seem like a very precise person with these trades. Every trade you've shown me looks pretty good. So that might just be normal human nature to feel like you're missing something. I always feel like I'm missing something when I go to the store, to the market. Generally, I don't forget anything, but I always have that feeling. Pretty sweet making these commission-free trades, right? Man, it almost doesn't seem like it's real. It seems like it's almost too good to be true, but it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really going to save a lot of money. And I might add, guys, if you're spending $200-300 a month on commissions and now they're free, why don't you put the $200-300 away in another account, right? You were paying it anyway. Why not pay yourself, put it away? I think it'd be a good idea. MJ says, accepting the risk, like knowing that it could go opposite, but knowing that you might take right trades and let the edge prevail over sample size. Yep, Mark Rogers. That's exactly it. You have to accept the risk, right? Like in the book. It's like playing a slot machine. You're going to pull that handle. You know something's going to happen. Do you really expect to win? No, but you could, right? That's kind of how I look at it. When I pull a slot machine, I really don't think I'm going to win, but I like the opportunity that I might win. So when I take a trade, I kind of feel like, I'm probably not going to win, but I err on that side. So that if it does go against me, I was like, oh, see, I was right, and I immediately get out. But that's just kind of a hack. That's just kind of a workaround for your psychology to make sure that you get out of trades correctly. On the other hand, if you're like, I know I'm going to win this trade, everything looks great, and then it goes against you, you may not want to get out because you already predetermined that it was going to be good, and that could be a detriment. JT, I spend my savings on commission on ice cream. Well, that's going to be a lot of ice cream, JT, because I think you told me the other day that you're saving about $500 a month. But hey, better ice cream than paying commissions, right? That sounds good. I like ice cream. ARGT. Okay, John. Ah, gosh dang it. This is one of these ones I can't show. Okay, I'm going to look at the other chart and I'll try to break it down. Sorry, John. I really hope that Trade Navigator gets these other symbols back up because it's been annoying. So up nicely today. Take a look here. Let me see if I can move this over and if it will work. Oh, it did. Well, I mean, a couple days we closed below the -1 channel. We have rallied back in. Would I buy it just upon this rally? No, I wouldn't. I mean, we had this resistance up here. We had this big bar down here with big volume. We did go up today on big volume. You know, we have had this nice sidewards movement here. For ARGT, what I would be looking, you know, we're looking for once we close under the 1 ATR channel and then we rally, very likely it's going to come back down because the people that buy here are going to sell up here when it starts running out of steam. That will cause it to come back down for a couple of days, and then I'd look for a higher low V1 or V2. That's what I would be looking for. And then if we're looking at the pot stocks, look at that today, guys. Double bottom? Yes. Double bottom with the bullish divergence? No. We never had MACD go positive. You know, we're at a 3102 RSI. You know, could we buy it under 30 back over 30? Yeah, we could. We could. I like it better if there's a double bottom with the divergence. But sometimes they don't line up. But yeah, it's pretty dang weak. I took the OC trade. Bing, he says, I took the OC trade at yesterday's close. We'll see how it goes. So you took it yesterday here about 60.73. Is that what you mean by yesterday's close? Because we're in different time zones. Oh yeah, I'm sure you did because it was this V2. Move up, move sidewards, gap down, V2. It did have a bit of a gap. It did fill some of the gap, but it was still over 1/4 ATR. Did move up. Be interesting to see how that goes. MJ, yeah. Their Trade Navigator they're switching over to a different data service provider, and for about 10 days there I didn't have most of my symbols, and now I have most of them, but I don't get a lot of like symbols like SSO or DDM or some of the smaller stocks. That's why I can't pull them up, but luckily, you know, I have backup charts, but they're not the charts I'm used to. But yes, they should have it. All right, so Bing He bought it at 60.70. All right, well, the point is you are in the money, so that's good. So we'll put this here on our list, Bing He, so we can follow. Yeah, you were up nicely today, right? And then it turned back around a little bit. You have a dividend coming, so that's good. All right, everybody. Well, listen, Bing He, it's good seeing you, my friend. Thank you for coming and tuning in and getting up early from Singapore. MJ, I'm going to write you back as far as when we can set up the Skype call. I look forward to that. I always like having those Skype calls with new people and learning a little bit about them and their life. I'm just really always interested in people's trading careers. And so I'm looking forward to that, and I'll write you back this evening. John says, thank you so much for giving us your time and experience. You're certainly welcome, my friend. I appreciate you coming. So thank you, John. Thank you, Bing He. Thank you, MJ. Oh, that name slipped my mind. Jax. That's right. Thanks, Jax. JT, good seeing you. Hope you enjoy that ice cream. Nice seeing you, my friend. Thanks a lot for coming. John, yeah, check out ETF Replay. I think you'll like it. And thank you, John, for coming. And JT, oh, I already said hi, goodbye, JT. Frank, good seeing you, my friend. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for coming, guy. Gamer Squad, always good to see you, sir. And if you have any questions about stuff, let me know. I never know if you trade or not. If you have any trades, share them with us. I'd like to see how you're doing. Mount Doji, thanks for coming by. Let me know if you got in love. I'd like to watch that. Stephen Winters, appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. Steve Burns, appreciate you coming, sir. Always an honor to have you. I'm always excited to have you. I know everyone else is too. Jesse, great lesson last night. Hope you get through trading in the zone, finish that up, and then we're going to have our final lesson on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. And Marco, good seeing you, my friend. Kurt, good seeing you. Look forward to our call tonight. So we're going to get into double bottoms, double tops, bullish divergences, bearish divergences. And did I miss anybody? Toby, I think I said goodbye. Oh, maybe I didn't. So goodbye, Toby. Thank you for coming. Always appreciate that. So thank you, everybody. MJ says, great first lesson for me. Chat soon. Okay. All right, everybody, take care. Go out and do something nice for somebody today, right? Just a little quick something, a hi, a wave, hold the door, a smile, and let's try to make this world a better place, because we certainly need it. So, all right, take care. Hopefully see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.